Within the world of teaching and training, there are a number of different resources which you can use to enlighten your learners about your subject. You can also excite learners as well by using a variety of different resources and to create interest as well. And that's a good hallmark of any teacher, is to use a variety of different resources. For criteria 1.2, we would like for you to evaluate the effectiveness of specific resources from your own specialist area in meeting individual learners' needs. Now, what we are looking for here is for you to reflect on a minimum of 5 different teaching resources that you use within your own practice. Okay, do have a look at textbook pages 280 to see a table of different resources that you can select for this assignment question. Now, with your 5 resources in mind, we are looking for you to evaluate each, to look at their strengths and their areas for development. You can, if you wish, create a table to answer this question. In terms of each resource, we would like for you to evaluate the effectiveness. Okay, so looking at their strengths and areas for development or considerations in detail. Some of the key points you could look at for this assignment answer is to think about how effective are these resources? When do they work well within your class? Is there particularly perhaps a time of day when these resources work best? And do explain what are your learners' thoughts on the resource as well. Furthermore, have you shared this resource with other colleagues? Okay, what's the feedback been like? Okay, perhaps you've also used this resource during an inset day and perhaps promoted this with colleagues. So we're thinking about the feedback from your fellow colleagues as well. Furthermore, is the resource free or do they cost money? Who pays for the resource? Is it perhaps from your department budget, for example? Okay. Will the resource have to be updated? Okay. How do you keep track perhaps of any resource updates? How do you stay current with the development of the resource? Do you perhaps need to sign up to any alerts or do you have to pay for subscriptions to use the resource? And finally, where is the resource stored? Okay, is it quite an expensive resource or perhaps it could be electronic as well? So we've got a series of questions which you could use to evaluate each of the resources here. So we're looking for a minimum of 500 words. As I said, do please have a look at page 280 to pick out any 5 different resources. Okay, and in terms of the categories, then they of course could be IT based, it could be objects, external resources, visual aids, and also people and other as well. So do have a look at a minimum of 5